Now and here we go. Hello there. Please let me briefly explain to you more about my literary powerhouse, which of course starts right here. Right here. When I say right here, I mean from the kitchen, where we manufacture our literary food, as seen on the screen of my 10-year-old laptop that was given to me sometimes back by my cousin sisters. Yeah, for your information, I don't work here alone in this small space in matters concerning the text. I work with my literary gang of peer editors. I call them the text collectors, who actually do not only collect but also correct and connect in a text style, not textile, better than the way a text collector collects taxis from the market, or the way a taxi connector connects taxis in the park. And here is our evidence. Our market space, which actually represents our publishing house, as seen from Faithbook Publishers Ltd, which is registered in Kampala here, with branches in Nairobi and Juba, of course, soon, and also from the internet, as will be detailed to you later. But what is important here is, let me remind you about this motto. It simply means explore or exploit your mental capacity or capability, just as done by this gentleman here. You've seen this beautiful display of somewhat confusing, entertaining, funny titles. All the way down, you have seen some titles like this one, My Cartoon Diary. I'll tell you what I see in Khartoum that I explain like that in the diary. There are some ongoing titles like this, or this one. What is happening in your village in South Sudan or in your town? Politics in our church. The Corinthian sort of Christian church that you see in the Bible is now alive in our society. Let me talk less about that, but in general, we market all these titles, these books, in a very unique formula called POD, which is either print on demand or pay on delivery. Anyway, we will explain more about these marketing tricks later on during the launch of one of these books. Where is it? This one. Yep. This is my poetic autobiography, Being Troublesome. On the 10th of December, right here at Makerere University, all goes well. And of course, this title goes well with this one. This one. Oh, sorry. The title has changed to all this one. There is a man in woman. It is not what you think, but okay. Those who know what happens between November 26th to December 10th will not only enjoy 16 points of activism against gender-based violence, but also with 16 points of activism against gender-biased silence. And if you are the type that looks the other way when your sister or mother is having issues in the house, there you are. Okay, I promise. Right from tomorrow up to the 10th, that's Human Rights Day when we launch this book, I shall serialize 16 poems, a day a poem, and you will see what they look like. This is a free offer before the book. Let me come to the real issue here. This is our third important stage of production, literary production. Let me call it, the dining table, of course, where we either consume literary text like this or produce one like this, food for our minds. By the way, this calendar says Dinka traditional foods. I don't know. Visit South Sudan. I don't know who these guys are. Very funny. So we prepare our literary food, not this one, here, and it results into this, of course, Dead Manners, an anthology of New Age poetry, which is actually part of Africa Readers conference that took place. It was launched actually recently in Makerere University here, and we are proud to have been part of them, of the project, written by 50 poets from Africa. But Faithbook Publishers took part together with Read As Africa. I am not explaining more about Makerere at 100 years, no. But oh yeah, our fourth project, very upcoming project, Back to School Textravaganza. It will be shown later on during the launch of this project. But what is in this bag system, this baggage system, which commemorates actually the coming back of this author to school after some times, will be, okay, maybe I will not disclose what will be in all these bags later on. They will be on sale that time with the contents. But okay, let me leak to you one of the titles in the contents. Condemned to Go to School is another autobiography. Okay, it's not what you think. But one funny chapter there questions why this gentleman actually did a 3-year bachelor's course in 20 years. Okay, let me not divulge, let me not reveal more about that. It's a very embarrassing experience, but very encouraging. Very. That book will come out. But let's come to our fifth project. What are you seeing? We call this structure, we call it the cactus shelf. And when it has the contents that you see, it is called the Text Collector Lifebrary. Take care of the sound life, F-E, in the brary. And I will explain more about that later on. But the project has some magical powers, some funny part of it. And we call it, by the way, Source Funnyture. It's a Faithbook Funnyture. Funnyture. And what is funny about this? This small structure you see here can hold for you up to 500 books. How? The magic works like this. Each of the cactus sockets or pockets contains up to 30 titles of a light book like this. This one. And the truth shall set you free. Okay, let me flee this part. Let's come to this one. Also can contain up to 10 fat books, like fat books like this. America's Got Tyrant. Okay. By the way, the subtitle is confusing. Trump in nuke pukes. For those who care, it simply means Trump in naked nuclear vomits. Whatever it is, we are not talking about this book. We shall explain it when I launch my online explanation of poetry. But I want to tell you, in the 10 sockets or pockets times the content, you will get 500 books. Rolling, it has rollers, by the way. You see, it moves. Rolling around and about in your bedroom, in your boardroom, in your office, in your library, in any space you want. This magical structure has a very important part, the head, the headquarters. Are you seeing a human figure, a human head? Yes. Somebody one time joked that this head resembles that of the owner. Okay, the owner is not what you think. It's even you, because we are going to launch this book, this structure, the cactus shelf. And you may order it full of books that you want, not necessarily this one, or empty, depending on your purchasing power. But now we're not going to explain how those necessary accessories contribute to the production of the food that you serve before in stages up to that final product. Now, this is covered with secrecy. Because source is synthetic optional structure. It's something to help us later on in the fight against climate change. So it's like climate source, but this one is different. We'll tell you more about that. Of course, there is IP issues or copyright. Copyright from the structure to the titles of the books all the way to what you see here. Oh, by the way, you may ask, what is Nescafe doing down there? Okay, we talk of copyright, but when we reach down there, according to writers, copyright there has a lot of meanings to us, those who spend sleepless night in such a space. In summary, this space is a 5-in-1 project space. 5 projects. 1, not only a study space for a university student like me, but also a lowly bedroom of a university, hostel, and a marketing space for all these books, and publishing house in representation, and finally, or not so, a working space for Faithbook Publishers and university students coursework, blah, 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 all this. You should be reminded. Thank God. I like my noisy backyard, but it's quiet now. Right up there is SEDET. It's a College of Technology, and down it is Food Science. And Food Science Auditorium is where we are going to talk about our literary food that I mentioned before. Therefore, why don't you mark the date and join John for questions after questions, for answers and answers after answers. But let me not sing this song because we have a party tonight. Because my sister, one of my sisters at Macquarie University, Mary Yara Yuel, just won a business idea, a concept at Startup Africa. Startup Africa is a business idea competition, and they won. It's a group of colleagues in a project called Maria Medicinal Haven, some sort of a miracle. And this girl is our own, who won the majority of the votes in the marathon that took place for several months. So we are going there for party after party after party, party after party after party. Online, by the way.